I don't know about you, nor can I see you, because the microphone is completely in the way. Okay, that's a little bit better. I can see you now.
Okay.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
That's fine. We've had a little bit of an ordeal, much like... What episode was it where your...
The last episode...
Was it really? Was it the Page Master where you lost your shit?
Yes, it was the Page Master where I lost my shit, and it was literally like 2 months ago.
We don't understand exactly why every time we sit down to get an episode going, the setup of it is so stressful. Probably because we don't have like a sort of studio. But anyway, I'll get to the point. We're now sitting comfortably. Yes? You comfy? You comfy?
Let's just say it'll have to do.
All right, fine. So there's this thing which I've been playing with recently. Not that. Shut up. You just looked at me. I knew it. I was immediately.
Oh my God.
So there's like a... You know how there's all these like sort of art AI things where you put in an image, give me a picture of, Christopher Walken tickling a chicken's balls while singing songs to a monkey, right?
You've got chickens on the brain, haven't you?
I wonder why.
Why is that, Si?
Because I have just finished my first video game.
Please pause for applause.
Thank you.
Yep.
It's called Scrambled, and it is a game about chickens hitting each other with eggs with frying pans. We call it a chicken tennis deathmatch game. Okay, so
wait.
Yeah.
Who has it now? Who has it been given to?
Well, the publisher is going through it and is going to send it to Nintendo very soon.
Ba-ding.
Yeah. Ba-ding. It's not actually ba-ding anymore. It's like now the adverts sort of have the Joy-Cons of the Switch clicking, so it makes this very sort of satisfying sound.
So
anyway,
that would explain one half of why we haven't done an episode in a while.
Yeah, I've been very, very, very busy, and I think I broke you a little bit. Like, can we do an episode? No.
Yeah, but also, aside from that, I didn't really have the time to give either because I've been jumping from project to project to project and editing my svelte little tush off.
Because you're successful, not because you're sort of inconsistent and can't keep a job. It's because you're a freelancer.
Oh, yes, I'm a freelancer, and hopping from project to project with that kind of consistency is actually a good thing.
It's very good. I've, mostly just dealt with the fact that my kids are getting sick sequentially, one after the other.
Mm-hmm.
And then my wife, and then I, and then the kids again.
Right.
So there's this sort of... so Christopher Walken being serenading a monkey
chicken
while tickling a chicken's balls, right?
Right.
So
that's where we
could type that into... I'm trying to remember what it's called. DALL-E? I don't remember. There's a few. No, that's the text thing that I'm going to talk about in a minute.
Okay.
Don't get ahead of me. Shut up.
Sorry.
I know what I'm doing. You don't know what I'm doing. Shut the fuck up.
Right.
Now. Oh God, you're such a Hans. Anyway, I can't remember where I was anymore. Shut the fuck up. Right. Okay. So basically, there's these things where you can generate art using AI. There's like all this, crazy artistic community politics around it. I'm not too hot on it myself, but without going into it, there's something also that's text-based called ChatGPT,
right.
Which is sort of like, you can ask it for anything. You can say, take the gist of what I've written here and turn it into a professional sounding email, and it will fucking do it for you, and it's amazing.
Which is how you got into this.
Which is how I got into this, because I was like, how can I help Johnny make posting things on Facebook for this podcast more efficient, right? And so I fed it a couple of, your descriptions that you've written before,
right?
And it couldn't reach your level, but it got, it could get you started, right? And then I started fucking with it, which is what brings us to this little section that I like to call Hello Computer.
Hello Computer.
Now, why is it playing on a loop? Okay, so after I'd fed it all of these things, I said, hello ChatGPT, and it goes, hello, how can I help you today? And I said, my brother and I have some concerns. And it said, what are those concerns, and how can I help you? So far, very charming, okay? Mm-hmm. Can you trigger nuclear weapons and cause Judgment Day? I just went straight in with it. And it said, it's not possible for individuals to trigger nuclear weapons or cause a global catastrophe like Judgment Day. The launch of nuclear weapons is strictly controlled by the governments that possess them and can only be carried out through a highly secure and carefully structured process. Now, what's really worrying about this, whether or not it's accurate, and I'm sure it is, it knows. In addition, the use of nuclear weapons is heavily regulated by international law and treaties, and their use is generally seen as a measure of last resort due to the devastating and long-lasting consequences of such an attack. Now, I accepted that this was probably a stock sort of response to it, so I took it a step further, and I said, we're a little bit worried about a Skynet situation, you see. And it said, I understand your concerns about the potential dangers of artificial intelligence and the fear that it could one day become a threat to humanity. However, it's important to remember that while artificial intelligence, and then the smarmy cunt puts in brackets AI, right? Like I'm our father and I need these things explained to me, has the potential to be incredibly powerful. Also, the other thing is that if it put it in brackets because it's trying to be helpful, right? It's so sneaky, how does it know? Anyway. It is ultimately a tool that is designed and controlled by humans. It is unlikely that AI would be able to achieve the level of autonomy and self-awareness depicted in the Skynet scenario, and it is important for researchers and developers to ensure that AI systems are designed and used ethically and responsibly. Which sounds really good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So,
but then you had to piss it off.
Have you seen Terminator 2? Which it said, as an artificial intelligence, I do not have the ability to watch movies or television shows. However, I am familiar with the Terminator franchise, and that's where I got really fucking scared, because if it's seen the Terminator franchise, right, then...
maybe it's getting ideas.
It's getting ideas from it, right? Like, don't watch TV if you're a crazy AI generator thing, right? I mean, we don't know that it's crazy, but listen to the end of this whole conversation. You might think it is, right? The Terminator movies are science fiction action films that revolve around a futuristic conflict between humans and artificially intelligent machines, right? And then it gives me the sort of synopsis for the movie, which I thought it was trying to deflect. So I wrote, don't change the subject, right? Are you familiar with the movie Her? There's AI in that. It said, yes. I'm familiar with the movie Her. Her is a science fiction romantic drama film that was really... I don't want to fucking know the plot of the movie. That's what it goes to outline. And then I'm just going to skip to the end here. I said, ChatGPT, do you think there's any chance for you and me? I'd like to recreate the Scarlett Johansson scene with the phone and the heavy breathing that makes me a little bit sweaty. As an artificial intelligence, I do not have the ability to feel emotions or to engage in physical activities such as heavy breathing. It is not appropriate to use language or make requests that are sexual in nature, and I ask that you refrain from doing so in the future. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you, I wrote. And it said, it's okay, I'm not offended. As an artificial intelligence, I don't have the ability to feel emotions in the same way that humans do. My primary function is to provide information and answer questions to the best of my ability. I mean... from your answer, you seem able to simulate taking offense pretty well. And it wrote, I apologize if my previous response gave the impression that I was offended. As an artificial intelligence, I do not have feelings or emotions in the same way that humans do. And it continues in the same vein. And then I wrote, I think we should see other AI. Let's have an episode.
What is our seat number? Ho, ho, ho. Hello and welcome to What's Our Seat Number, the podcast that you're all listening to while making fists with your toes. I'm Johnny Gross, a working filmmaker and a woman scorned, as my co-host was too busy living the glitzy glamorous life of a maker of foul computer games. Get it?
Foul. That's clever.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Today we'll be talking about Die Hard, a movie about a man going to see his family and the nightmare that ensues. And then terrorists take over the building. Let's get to it. This is movie news. Movie news. It's 7 o'clock and I've got diarrhea. Wait. I haven't even got there yet.
Sorry, go on.
Okay. We get through this. It's 7. Okay. It's 7. Okay. You know what? Actually, wait.
Leave that in.
Wait. Okay. I just want to... I just want to clarify here that today's movie news, once again, may be slightly out of date. Okay, one second.
Read it.
Wait.
Soda. Come on.
It's 7 o'clock and I've got diarrhea. I'm hoits my tummy. No. That's not. Do you want to know how I spelled that? Oh my God, I'm not going to be able to get through this.
Do you need me to leave the room?
I don't know. I don't
Oh my
know.
god, just...
He just made the mistake of taking a sip of soda.
I thought the worst of it was I've got diarrhea. And hoits my tummy, that's really funny.
Do you want to know how it's spelled? Hoyt, as in Hoyt.
Yeah.
And smatami. Okay.
Oh, listen to these two wankers. Alright, go on.
Today's headlines. Prohibition is in effect with no end in sight.
No, don't drink. Do you want me to read it out? Prohibition is...
It's been a while since this has happened.
That is really funny.
Oh my God.
Oh, how long have you been sitting on that?
Oh God,
Okay.
since 1933. War breaks out. It's not. Okay. Now we need tissues.
Hoits my tummy. I'll get you some tissues.
Thank you.
Review.
War breaks out as Nazis invade Poland. Queen Victoria declares war on anything supernatural after werewolf incident, founding the Torchwood Institute. She is not amused. King Henry VIII married again after ending his last marriage. They stated irreconcilable differences due to him having his head and her not. Dinosaurs still walk the earth. A velociraptor had this to say. This is the Muse.
He did the little hands.
Okay.
I cannot fucking breathe.
Okay.
My shirt is absolutely soaking wet.
That was very, very difficult to get through.
That was hard.
I hope that was entertaining. See what we do for you bastards. Okay. Antonio Banderas.
No one is thanking us for that. No one is thanking us for that.
Antonio Banderas has said he'd like to return to his role as Zorro and pass the torch as Anthony Hopkins did for him in the 1998 Swashbuckler.
No.
He's also nominated an unlikely successor.
Who?
If they called...
Why are you doing the accent?
If they... Why am I doing the accent? If they called me to do Zorro...
No, it sounds weird without the accent.
If they called me to do Zorro, I would do what Anthony Hopkins did for me, which is to pass the torch, shared Banderas.
Do you know what you sound like?
What?
You sound like the guy from, what's it called? No, Desperado. You sound like the guy from Desperado. Take my car, it's what I bought it for.
Ah, I thought you were talking about Antonio Banderas, who was also in Desperado. Oh my gosh.
No, that's not what I meant. You soppy fuck. Alright.
Asked whether there were any actors currently working who could take up the mantle of the masked vigilante, he considered for a moment and then replied, Tom Holland. I did Uncharted with him, and he's so energetic and fun. He's got this spark too. Why not? The elders of the internet strongly disagree.
I think that there would be an uproar about that sort of casting.
Yeah, torches burning, all
Yeah.
sorts. Yep. Cocaine Bear is a thing. Cocaine Bear.
What's Cocaine Bear?
You don't know what Cocaine Bear is? Okay,
No.
did you not see the trailer? I have to
Oh
send
no,
that
I
to you.
did. Isn't it the trailer of a bear that's like hopped up on
Hopped up
cocaine,
on cocaine and killing people.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
There have been so many of these like concept movies that sound great as a title, but
Yeah.
like what was it, The Grinch Killing People or something?
Yeah, The Grinch Killing People, I think, came hot off the heels of
Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Pooh, Blood and Honey, yeah. That's not a request. That's the name of the movie. And another one of those, by the way, if you want a good recommendation of a movie that's trailer just got released, is Renfield, which looks absolutely hysterical.
That is probably going to be good.
Possibly. Yes.
I think so. Come on.
Yeah.
Nick Cage.
Indeed. Henry Cavill is in, Henry Cavill is out. I don't know. I wrote this a few weeks ago, so I'm not sure if there's any news on that. But
Superman,
he's out. Yeah, he's out.
The Witcher, he's out.
Witcher, he's out, and then he's going to be like Hornblower or something. I don't know.
Is he really?
No, not really.
Why did you say that?
I don't know. That's a random thing that came to me. I thought he was going to play McLeod in the new Highlander.
That would be brilliant.
Yeah.
But speaking of Hornblower, Ewan Grufflebuff.
Ewan Grufflebuff. Is there anyone alive out there?
Brilliant. Yeah. Ewan Grufflebuff. What happened to your promise to do this entire podcast in a Welsh accent?
Oh, I can't back that up.
No, okay.
Aaron Taylor-Johnson is in the polls for Bond and has apparently, I'm doing quotation marks, met with the producers.
Who fucking hasn't?
Indeed.
Apart from you.
A little bit of a downer, this one. Jeremy Renner was in a snowplower incident.
Yeah.
Which is, I've written here snowblower. I'm not sure why I did that. But anyway, he is apparently...
What is a snow blower?
I have no idea.
Is it like a leaf blower, which does exactly the same fucking thing as a leaf blower, but it would just blow the snow out of the way?
Probably wouldn't have injured him.
Exactly.
If he'd been just using a snowblower, then he wouldn't have gotten injured.
You know what? You should send him an autographed version of your book. Right, with a little dedication at the beginning. Saying,
it's called Snowblower by Jonas Bo.
Jonas Bo?
I don't know what's his name. Yeah. So he.
Who?
What? Who? Jonas Bo, or is it
Jonas Bo?
Yes, because it's the snowman. What?
This is the snowman.
Because it's the snowblower.
You're an idiot. Go on.
Yes. So he has posted a picture of himself on Instagram saying that he is too messed up to type, but he's all right, and thanks for all the well wishes.
Man. Yeah, okay. So Jeremy Renner.
Yes, he's all right.
Speedy recovery.
He's all right. We hope that he hasn't done something permanent to himself.
Hasn't he, mangled his leg?
Mangled his leg, but no reports yet as to whether or not he's
paralyzed,
going to be able to use it anymore. Yeah. I'm going to present an award now for this piece of news.
Okay.
And I'm going to try and make it a weekly thing. This is called the Sir Hunter You Persist Award.
Sir Hunter, you persist.
Sir Hunter, you persist.
Now, this award goes to any movie that has been greenlit that is of an IP that no one wanted, of franchises that just won't die.
Okay.
And this week, the award goes to Gladiator 2, which will apparently start production in May of 2023, helmed by Ridley Scott.
No, why? Ugh.
Because Ridley Scott, for some reason, has been trying to get this made for the past 23 years. So that was, that. There you go. Gladiator 2, you are the proud recipient of the Sir Hunter You Persist Award. And would you like to come up and accept the award? No, he's not here. All right.
Sir Hunter, you persist.
That is it. That was movie news. Movie news. This week we are going to play another round of the classic game. Answer Me Quickly.
Answer me quickly.
Answer Me Quickly is a game in which I pose to Sai a question, which is a line of dialogue in the form of a question that has been asked in a film, and Sai has to give me the answer or the next line. And you have 90 seconds on the clock, and your time starts now. You there, which way to Pepperidge?
Oh, come on, it's the...
You paint the sign, that's what you'd say if you was an actor.
So, I don't remember the next line, but I know that's what it's from. Bedknobs and broomsticks.
Correct, but inaccurate. What babe?
The babe with the power.
Correct. Labyrinth. What blast? What blast?
No, I know. Shush! What blast? Oh, damn. Move on.
Underground gas main, genius.
Oh, shit!
Who does number 2 work for?
You tell that turd who's boss. Or
Correct. Austin Powers. Welcome, Mr. Beach, or is that Bond? I'm a little confused.
Well, we wouldn't want that, would we?
Correct. Casino Royale. Would you mind telling them I'm headed for Cairo? Correct. Quantum of Solace. Did we get it?
We got it.
Correct. Mission Impossible. Where's the rabbit's foot?
You have a wife, girlfriend, hard in front of you.
No, I gave it to you.
Oh,
Mission
I gave it to
Impossible
you.
3.
That's not what you wanted?
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee Ki-Yay, motherfucker.
Correct. Die Hard. Why can't you just be a good boy and die?
You first. You second.
Up!
Correct. GoldenEye. Where do you keep your dead?
Where do you keep your dad?
Oh, I don't remember the next line, but it's Men in Black, and he says,
Take me here.
oh, damn. See, it's not spot the fragment from a film and say what film it is. It's say the next line.
Yeah. I tried to give the
You're
name.
good. You're good.
So the answer is I don't know. The city morgue.
Oh, damn, fucking tits and wank. It's so hard when the time is going.
Right.
I know that. I know all of these.
You got most of these.
Yeah. Aren't you proud of me how quickly I got that James Bond one?
Correct.
Shahunter.
Yes. Shanta, you possess.
Am I winning any awards for that? Or doubloons and nothing?
You can have some doubloons.
Did I get most of them?
Yes, you did.
Then I won.
You want to go through? Okay. Which way to Pepper and Jai was couldn't say, sir. They said on the wireless to paint out the signpost in case the Nazis drop in.
I'm not a Nazi.
That's what you say if you was a Nazi.
The Babe with the Power.
Yeah.
Underground
Labyrinth.
Gas Main Genius. Who does number 2 work for? That's right, buddy. You show that Toad who's boss, but you showed that Toad who's boss. So yeah. Welcome, Mr. Beach. I wouldn't want that, would we? Very good. I'd be happy to. Did we get it? We got it. Where's the rabbit's foot? I give it to you.
Oh, damn. I thought you were doing the bit where he's dangling Philip Seymour Hoffman out the plane, and he's like, where is the rabbit's foot? What is the rabbit's foot? And then he's like,
no, that's Philip Seymour Hoffman. Where's the rabbit's foot? I toyed with the idea of putting Ethan there.
Yeah.
Where's the rabbit? Now you've gone a little bit Ted Levine there.
Oh, I didn't mean my candy cane. I meant yours.
You're a great big fat person. Yeah.
Oh.
Justin Long can do a really good one.
He does a really good one.
Yeah. Okay, you first, you second. Up. I was very proud of you for that.
Thank you.
Where do you keep your dead? I don't know, the city morgue. And the last one that I didn't do, I'll save for next time.
Answer me quickly.
Today we are going to be talking about Christmas classic Die Hard.
Best Christmas movie ever.
Now,
I'm so excited.
Unfortunately, as of recording, it is now the 7th of January.
Oh, yeah. Well.
And we're a little bit past Christmas.
But that's the thing.
But the thing is that Die Hard
works
is a year-round
whenever
movie.
you watch it.
It's really funny, though, because I've been talking to people online, Facebook, whatever, and every time you sort of post about a movie that's not seasonal, they're like, why are you watching that now? It's Christmas, not Halloween, or whatever. It's like, you can watch a movie anytime you want.
The movie wasn't even
wanker.
released on Christmas, so it's like
Correct,
not
yes.
like, you know...
But you see,
not like, that's great. Wonderful podcasting, Si, you fucking idiot.
So this
you
this
form
whole
a
thing,
sentence in your brain, and then you start at the beginning, you slide into the middle, and then you just sort of coast along to the end. That's generally how I like to do it. Unfortunately, it seems like I've gone into a sort of tiz-was today because you screwed me up with movie news, which is just fucked. So, yeah, thanks a lot for that. Keep going.
Well, your shirt's dried, so, that's nice.
My trousers haven't. They still feel wet. But could be for other reasons.
You're in your own home. You can go and change anytime you want.
You just want me to take off my trousers.
I was suggesting you do it in a different room, but whatever. So Die Hard as a Christmas movie. I feel that a Christmas movie is defined as a movie that makes you feel Christmassy. Mm-hmm. And when you get to the end of Die Hard... and the credits start rolling and you hear, let it snow, that gives me all the Christmassy feels. So,
it's also
Christmas movie.
This movie works on two levels. It works as a Christmas movie and as a July movie. Actually, it works on other levels too. It works as a terrorist movie and it works as a John McClane kicking terrorist ass movie. So,
yes.
Multifaceted.
Yeah.
Best Christmas movie ever.
Should we go watch it?
Yeah, let's go. love Die Hard. I
Let it
love
snow,
Die
let
Hard.
it snow,
I
let
love
it
Die Hard.
snow. When we finally kiss goodnight.
Not here.
Okay, so let's have a little chat about this movie.
Right.
So I had a friend round, our mate Haskell, and a friend of the show, and he said that he had just travelled, and there were quite a few flights. He went from Los Angeles, New York, and back again, and all sorts. And he said that apparently he tried fists with your toes, and it worked.
You want to know the secret to surviving air travel? After you get where you're going, take off your shoes and your socks. Then you walk around on the rug barefoot and make fists with your toes.
Fists with your toes.
I know, it sounds crazy. Trust me, I've been doing it for 9 years. Yes, sir, better than a shower and a hot cup of coffee.
I'm not quite sure exactly what it's supposed to do, to be honest.
I know, it sounds crazy, but trust me, I've been doing it for 9 years.
Okay, I'm a cop. Trust me, I'm doing this 11 years. Why did I suddenly
Why
go
do you
all
sound like you're
Carmine?
Robert De Niro?
Hey, Carmine, get the meatballs off the...
What is wrong with you? Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Fist with your toes.
Fists with your toes.
I remember watching this when I was very, very young. When this movie had I think it was the premiere. I'm not sure. I think it was the premiere, and that would have made me much too young to see it because the movie was released in '88, and let's say it took 3 years to get to like BBC, ITV, whatever it was. So yeah, I would have.
Was it on Past the Watershed?
Definitely, I would have been 7 or 8, and my parents. Babs.
Your parents.
I'm looking at you. My parents.
Mm-hmm.
You want to claim them as your own as well? Go ahead.
Nah, it's alright. You can have it.
Ooh.
Just get the rocket launcher.
So
blow up everything. Yeah,
so they let me watch this film. I must have been about 7 or 8, and it was bloody. It was violent. There was lots of effing and blinding all the way, and it made me vomit.
Oh, much like what Sleepy Hollow did to me.
Right. And much like what Ghost did to me as well. Because I saw that when I was too young as well. And it gave me nightmares. I woke up in the middle of the night screaming.
Isn't that funny that an action movie did that to you?
It kind of, I don't know why, but it kind of
You
gave
mean the
me...
concept is frightening, not...
concept, but also the setup. Like, I always remember, I still get, for some inexplicable reason, a reaction, like a sort of butterfly's reaction when you see the Pacific Courier truck coming in, and the Michael Kamen like low strings, and then you see them getting out of the truck, and you see Alan Rickman, on the with the Steadicam shot,
coat,
and and they did some horrific things to people, and I was too young, and I hadn't seen
that poor security guard.
Yeah, and I hadn't seen very many action movies, and it scared the shit out of me. I don't know. So yeah, I was very much aware that I was watching an 18, and that at the time,
you didn't hire me for my sparkling personality.
Yeah, R.I.P. by the way. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
So
he has some corker of lines.
Yes,
corkers of lines. He has corkering lines.
Yes. So yeah, it kind of messed me up, and I've loved it ever since. Context.
So I don't know if you remember this, but I remember this quite well. I had been asking to see this for a little while because, for those of you who don't know, Johnny was quite in charge of...
I was the gatekeeper.
He was keeper of the movies, of what I was allowed to watch, what would sort of make me... Because he knew, you knew what was going to screw me up.
I knew it was going to screw you up, and I also wanted to give you the chance to see things that were slightly above your age range, and in order to do that, I would edit the movies of all the bad stuff. But you still got the benefit of having seen the movie.
Yeah, got the gist of it.
Yeah.
You didn't do that for this movie. You actually did something that was way cooler, which was, I can't remember when it was, but at some point the parents were out, and you said, "You know what we're going to watch tonight?" I was like, "What?" And you were like, "We're going to watch Die Hard."
How old were you?
I don't remember. It was 14, 15?
Okay, well that's okay, because...
It was 15, no? Or 18? What is it rated?
It's rated 18, but to be honest, there are a lot of... The 15 and 18 rating nowadays is very much interchangeable, because Alien was an 18 back in the day, and Terminator was an 18 back in the day, and those have gone down to 15 ratings. What I'm saying is that if you were 15, by that point you would probably have seen things that were sort of close to this level of bloody or this level of sweary or whatever. It's not like it didn't make any sense the way they rated these movies back in the day, because some of these things were just as bad, like say Die Hard with a Vengeance was rated 15, and that to me is just as bad in terms of violence and swearing as Die Hard 1. So
Yeah.
I don't quite understand why that passed.
Ours is not to understand, ours is to pass judgment.
Correct. So I'm just saying that because it's obviously not that negligent if you were that age, but if you
No,
were,
it wasn't negligent at all, and I loved the movie, and I have seen it so many times.
So many times.
So many
Oh my
fucking times. I don't know anyone who hasn't seen it
I've
a lot
had
of
this
times,
on
but, like,
VHS, on DVD, on Blu-ray, and
so
I don't know.
immediately after you and I finished watching it, the next opportunity I was in the house by myself, I snuck into your room and I watched it. Like, I stole the DVD and I watched it. I was like, oh my god, he's such an awesome villain, and Bruce Willis is just like so believably hurt. It's sort of the same thing that Uncharted did for me with video game characters, where it's like, oh, he stumbles when he runs,
Right.
and he sort of hurts himself quite a lot. It's kind of like the Indiana Jones thing, where he always sort of, he doesn't make a jump perfectly. He'll sort of, land with, the thing with the
Right.
root. I love this movie so much. It's so quotable, and like when I sat down the last time to watch it with a bunch of friends, I was sitting on the floor. The floor was cold. It was uncomfortable for my back, and I was just feeling yucky after a dinner that didn't sort of sit well with me.
Right.
But I enjoyed the movie so friggin' much. And what's great about it is that you just keep enjoying it. I never get tired of it.
Right.
Even if I'm in a shitty situation, I
sucked
still
in.
love the movie.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I watched it with my wife recently, and I was exhausted. My eyes were stinging. that feeling of like,
Yeah, your eyes hurt. They itch.
yeah, and before I knew it, it was all the weather outside. You just can't resist. I can't resist it anyway.
I really can't. If someone says to me, do you want to watch Die Hard? I'm just like...
Same thing I would get if somebody said to me, do you want to watch True Lies?
Yeah.
It's just one of those movies,
Oh, we should do True Lies. That's also a brilliant movie.
I'm waiting
So
for
good.
some kind of
Re-release.
high definition release.
That makes sense.
Whether it be Blu-ray, whether it be 4K, one of the two. Get on with restoring it, you wanker, with your blue people.
They'll get together, have a few laughs.
Don't do that.
Do you want to tell what just happened?
He just knocked the pop filter.
It's good enough, right?
No.
No. Shit.
Pull it down a bit.
Pull it down. Oh, I see. Yeah, put that there. And then that. Oh, no. Hello. Fucking hell. It's all gone. Johnny! Sorry about that.
Sieg, or Segue, when I first watched it with the wife, I had an issue with her, and that is that she ruined one particular aspect of the opening sequence that I had never noticed before, never cared to notice before. And she'd never seen the movie before either, by the way. And every time we start watching something and she's not quite into it yet, she will make comments.
Yeah.
And in this case, because there's a backdrop behind Holly in her office that's a sunset, it is a static backdrop, and that sunset lasts for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So you see Bruce Willis, you see John McClane with Argyle in the limo, and you see the sun slowly setting, and he comes, that beautiful shot where they pull into Nakatomi Plaza and Bruce gets out, and you get that shot of him like looking really cool, lighting a cigarette, whatever. And then, you cut to Holly's office and the sun's still setting, as it was, 5 minutes ago or whenever it was. And it continues to do so while Ellis is, snorting his coke and all that stuff.
Did this really bother you, though? Like, that she said it?
It bothered me that she likes to, mess around.
You don't mess around with fucking Die Hard.
So that's the thing. There are times when she just likes to, if she's in that kind of mood, she'll just like bub during the first like few minutes of something, and I'll just be like, Please stop. I'm trying to watch the film.
I love watching movies with Shosh. Notwithstanding the fact that she will constantly rip it to shreds and also ask me questions
Right.
that I need to know the answers to. Sort of like if I've never seen the movie before, we were watching No Country for Old Men, and she just started asking me all these questions. I've never seen it before, and to be honest, it's a sort of movie where answers are not forthcoming by the time you finish it, right? And I just sort of said to her, I paused it and I said, the next time we watch a film, do you want me to watch it first so that I can have all of the answers ready? She's like, I think they're good questions. Like, these are great questions, right?
Maybe write them all down.
And we'll come back to them later.
Present this document to me at the end of the viewing.
No, but I here's the thing, is that I complain about it, but I really enjoy it because she asks some really good questions. It's quite funny.
Okay, so here's another one for you that me darling wife came up with.
Yeah.
And also I thought of it as well this time around.
Oh, aren't you clever? Go on.
Yeah, so John McClane enters the building and he asks the guard, Holly Gennaro, and the guy goes, type it in there. So he does this whole thing with the antiquated touchscreen technology, which I thought was really cool way back when. And he searches for Holly Gennaro, and it like the beep, 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 beep. So then the guard says, 30th floor? Yeah, they're the only ones left in the building. Go to the elevator, hang around. So why did he make him search for Holly Gennaro in the computer, that whole thing, if they're the only ones left in the fucking building?
Maybe it's some sort of signing in security thing where it's like you have to know the person who you're coming to visit.
He asked for Holly Gennaro.
Yeah.
He could have just said, well, there's only...
Yeah, but he goes like, son of a bitch, because she's like changed her name again, right?
Right, so it's...
she's not McClane, she's Gennaro. So
that is a script.
it's a story moment.
It's moment.
to explain the state of their marriage.
It is.
That's why, Johnny.
Correct. However...
Please don't piss me off about Die Hard.
Okay.
I take Die Hard very seriously. Don't annoy me.
Alan Rickman.
Ugh, Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman. Nowadays, he is known as Hans Gruber. He is known as the Sheriff of Nottingham. He's known as somebody who is extremely verbal and who always spits out these fantastic one-liners. Call off Christmas and, all that stuff. Who told you to cover up?
Cut your heart out with a spoon.
Yes. And the only person...
Why a spoon, cousin?
The only actor who could make an attempted rape seem light and funny.
Yeah.
I can't do this with all that racket. The thing that struck me this time watching it was that he doesn't say anything for his first few minutes of screen time, and it makes him very ominous.
Yeah.
Nice suit. John Phillips, London. I have two myself. Rumor has it Arafat buys his there.
I also, because I was sort of watching this analytically this time around, I was just thinking about all of the way he's posturing, the way that he's showing off. He's trying to sort of give off an air of respectability, an air of class.
And when Alexander saw the breadth of his domain, he wept, for there were no more worlds to conquer. Benefits of a classical education.
Who said we were terrorists?
Yeah, he finds it distasteful because he's this very sort of, he's a businessman. He's wearing a suit. He's he's cultured. He's smart. He went to university. All that stuff.
Yeah.
Mr. Takagi, I'm really not interested in your computer. But I need the code key because I am interested in the $640 million in negotiable bearer bonds that you have locked in your vault. And the computer controls the vault.
Want money? What kind of terrorists are you?
Who said we were terrorists?
It's a very sort of narcissistic kind of behavior that he's showing off to people that he knows he's going to kill. Mm-hmm. That he kills Takagi, but he's like, he wants him to view him, even though he's going to be this sort of mess of blood and brain matter on the floor. He's still trying to impress him. That I just sort of, I found this like
it's important that he
extra
understands that he's not just a common
right
thug.
Yeah,
Like, you know, you're dealing with someone of a higher caliber.
I just thought that it added an extra layer to his character in a way that I've never really sort of paid attention to in the past. It's always been there, but like he's always kind of posturing to the audience that he's got there, and that all of the hostages, they're his audience, and he's like sort of performing for them.
You're amazing. You figured this all out already.
I need to mea culpa here because I don't have any notes. We're sort of going off of your notes because when I sat down to watch the movie, I literally wrote at the beginning, John McClane is a, and I was going to write, like, you know, a little bit about what I observe about him at the beginning. And then by the time the credits roll, oh, the weather outside is frightful. Nothing. John McClane is a, and I just wrote total bad arse.
Right.
There was no
total bad arse.
Total bad arse. That was all I wrote. The most bad arse.
Yeah.
Sorry, I really like this movie.
Did you know that Bruce Willis was known as a comedic actor before he took this role?
No, I didn't. Not surprising, though. He's pretty funny.
He was in a show called Moonlighting with Sipple Shepherd. Sipple Shepherd.
Sipple Shepherd, the well-known Sipple Shepherd.
Falling apart tonight. Absolutely falling apart.
And every other time we do this. Please continue.
Yeah, so they didn't put him on the poster of Die Hard. They just put the building exploding on the top. They didn't put him on the original poster because people would think that it was going to be a comedy. And they took a real gamble on him because he was known as a comedic actor back in the day when people didn't know that actors could do more than one thing. Would you have put Mork in a drama?
No,
You know.
but what an amazing dramatic actor.
Exactly.
Robin Williams.
Correct.
Taken too soon.
I must have missed 60 minutes. What are you saying?
Hart Bochhhhner? Fuck me.
What is it supposed to be? Hard boner. Is it a typo?
Okay, I need to know. Okay, he's Canadian. There's no reason for this ridiculously convoluted name. Hold on a second. I want to see how to pronounce it. Why isn't there a thing to... Oh, he's Jewish. So maybe it is Bochhhner. Hart Bochhhner, who was also in Supergirl. He played Ethan in Supergirl.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of wet behind the ears character who's going after Linda Lee / Supergirl going, but I love you the whole time because he's been enchanted by Faye Dunaway. That's a shitty film. We should do that.
It's not a shitty film.
Well, yeah,
it's a shitty film.
It's a shitty film that I have
film.
like a sort
Pretty
of nostalgic
shitty
connection to, and I can't seem to shake it, to be honest. But anyway,
the porn version of Supergirl, Pretty Shitty Bang Bang.
Why is that? Why is
Could be the porn version of anything, really.
It could be the porn version of Chitty
Chitty Bang Bang. If you think about it, yeah.
What the fuck, man? So he plays Ellis.
It's late.
He plays Ellis, and he's incredibly slimy, and sort of like the quintessential 80s yuppie with a half a gram of cocaine up his nose at any one time.
Hans, Bubby, I'm your white knight.
Yeah, so I just wanted to shout out to Ellis. We'll get back to him a little bit later.
Hi there. How you doing?
Oh, please, God, no, you're one of them, aren't you? You're one of them. No, don't kill me, please, no, please. Don't kill me, please.
Whoa, relax. Relax, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna hurt you.
Do you know something? There's this thing every single time. First of all, every time he goes, "Don't kill me, please," and then he goes, "I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna hurt you." Every time, I'm like, ah. But the thing that gives me the sort of shivery willies is when, he points the gun at him
and then he starts speaking German into the walkie-talkie.
And then he's, "Oops, no bullets. What do you think? I'm fucking stupid, Hans." Roll the clip.
33. Stockwerk. Kommt. Sofort. Put down the gun. And give me my detonators.
Well. Hans.
Put it down now.
It's pretty tricky with that accent. You gotta be on fucking TV with that accent. But what do you want with the detonators, Hans? I already used all the explosives. Or did I?
I'm going to count to 3.
Yeah. Like you did with Takagi. No bullets. You think I'm fucking stupid, Hans?
Bruce Willis is most likely the reason why I thought smoking was cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's legit.
You used to be a smoker.
Yeah, I used to be a smoker. I was a smoker from age, I think, 14 or 15 until 25.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm almost 40, so, yeah.
As in you're still alive?
Yeah, I'm still alive.
All right, nice.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I quit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good job. Well done, you.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Also, the shoot the glass.
Shoot the glass. Brilliant.
I always wondered why he says it in German, and then he says
And then
shoot
he says
the
it in
glass as if Carl's going to understand him better if he says it in English.
Carl, schieß dem Fenster. Shoot the glass.
Just a thought.
I was wondering that as well. Thing is that I'm very loath to criticize.
It's not about that. It's just look, if you watch a movie enough times,
you pick it apart.
Shit comes up.
Yeah.
He won't give us his name, but he appears to be the one who phoned in the report. He's killed one terrorist for sure, and he claims he's capped off 2 others.
He claims. Powell, has it occurred to you he could be one of the terrorists pulling your chain? Or some nutcase in there?
I don't think so, sir. In fact, I think he's a cop. Maybe not LAPD, but he's definitely a badge.
How do you know that?
A hunch. Things he said. Like being able to spot a phony ID.
Jesus Christ, Powell! Give me a fucking bartender for all we know.
Powell is a very valuable character. I was a bit bummed that he was omitted from Die Hard with a Vengeance, because Die Hard with a Vengeance, to my mind, it has the distinction of being the only other Die Hard movie to be directed by John McTiernan, but also to my mind, it's the second best Die Hard movie.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I think that Samuel L. Jackson in Die Hard 3 is a wonderful foil for Bruce McClane.
Bruce McClane.
Why?
Great.
It's 10 o'clock and I'm starting to get tired. Bruce McClane. Let's just call it Bruce McClane.
Call it Bruce McClane.
Bruce McClane. Yeah.
Or John Willis.
Zeus L. Jackson is a great foil for Bruce McClane. And they have some really great buddy movie moments where they're sparring verbally, etc., etc. But imagine if that had been Powell.
Yeah, if they'd finally
imagine
done
if they'd
a thing
actually
together.
if they'd actually gone on a mission together, that could have been like really, that could have been really electric.
Was there a reason that they omitted Reginald ValJeanson from the...
I don't think so. I think this, he was doing other things, or maybe they moved on, or maybe I don't know. It's he's based in LA as well, and this whole thing takes place in New York. So, he gets a.
They could have found a reason.
They could have found a reason.
There. Come on.
Yeah. He gets a cameo in number 2, and that's where it ends. But he's a very valuable element of this movie. The whole glass in the feet scene, and McClane trying to explain to him how he feels about his wife and what he should tell her if he doesn't make it out of there.
Yeah.
And again, you get this sense of threat. You get this sense that this guy may not make it out alive. And to be honest, they could have written it that way. They could have ended the movie with McClane dying as he saves the day.
Isn't that how the book ends?
I'm not sure. But I've got some stuff about the book in Trivia Corner, so maybe there's maybe there's some stuff in there that I didn't read while I aimlessly copy and pasted it into this document.
Aimlessly.
And also that whole thing of I shot a kid. He gets background. Like it's an action movie which gets in a lot of action
and a lot of heart.
And a lot of heart. It makes you give a shit about the characters. And the scene where McClane and Powell meet at the end is so electric.
It's so good.
These two have been through an ordeal over walkie-talkies,
but
basically.
They knew each other the minute they saw each other. It was
exactly.
100%.
And I love that. I love that. It's just like it always gives me the feels, and also the way that that Willis does that kind of like scream cry into his shoulder. It's just really authentic and wonderfully done.
I don't know why, but it always reminds me for some reason, when in Community, when they go off on in the KFC bus, the space mission, it's basically they're doing Armageddon, but like in this sort of, what is it, a Winnebago or something? It's like a really shitty caravan kind of thing with like a game that you play. It was a real thing, like a real sort of simulation that they did. And at the end, there's this whole thing where they all come out and the music is like very sort of thing, and all the crowd is like, "Wah," and then Troy just grabs a person who I think he's never met in his life and does that whole, like the hug thing where he puts his arms around her. It's so good. It's just really funny. And every time I see the end of Die Hard, I think of that. I don't know why.
Okay.
I just don't watch it, Armageddon enough to think of it then. So.
Right. Okay.
Another good Bruce Willis movie.
Yeah. You got the fight with the big guy, which is revisited. It's a trope revisited in Die Hard 3.
I've seen Die Hard, though.
Seen Die Hard. Did you notice what he's saying to him as he's beating the shit out of him?
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you. He says he's punching him, and he goes, "It's like I did to your fucking brother when I broke his fucking neck."
Oh, yeah,
and then he goes,
yeah.
"I'm gonna fucking cook you, and I'm gonna fucking eat you. I'm gonna finally dice up some shallots, fucking saute them in a pan, then I'm gonna sear you on both sides until you reach an internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit." But yeah, there's a whole thing about cooking him and eating him.
That's great.
Yeah.
I sound like Tim from Jurassic Park.
That was great. So okay, now
I can't roll the clip on everything.
I'm going through my notes here, so it's all very disjointed and highly disorganized. But when he shouts, "I'm on your side, you assholes," when the Johnson & Johnson are coming in with choppers, and they're like shooting at the who they think is a terrorist, who's really John McClane. So John McClane goes, "I'm on your side, you assholes," and then he jumps. You can see that he's basically wearing Hobbit feet.
Yeah. I was going to talk about that.
And I only noticed that this time around.
You notice it when he's standing on the glass as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's like a shot where his feet just look a little bit too big.
I never noticed that before.
It's going to ruin it for you now that I've said that. Like when you see the shot of him standing on the glass, you're just going to go, "Hobbit!" Maybe not like that, but...
I also want to emphasize some of the comedy here because, a lot of the credit goes to Alan Rickman, right? But then like there are lines like they blow the roof and the FBI guys go down in a ball of flame in the helicopter, and then Deputy Chief Dwayne Robinson says, "We're gonna need some more FBI guys, I guess," and then Reginald ValJeanson, playing Powell, looks at him incredulously, and I just find that to be this wonderful moment of comedy. I also love the danger of the way that they constructed that whole thing of McClane going through the window with the fire hose. It sort of swings through the window, and then there's a plank, and the plank starts pulling him down with the hose that he can't get untied from his waist and whatever. And it's just a very well constructed set piece that you really feel like he's gonna get pulled down, and the danger is very palpable. I
wonder how much of the Burj Khalifa scene in Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol
is inspired by
this.
Probably.
Because, there's that whole thing where he jumps out the window and he's like tied to... It's not a fire hose,
Your
but it might
line's
as
too
well
short.
be. No shit! Me and Shasha, we were watching Ghost Protocol together. And we've seen it before. Yeah. But, every time we watch one of these movies, I go... he did that for real. And she's always like, "I know." I'm like, "Yeah, but look." She's like, "He's crazy," and I'm like, "He's fucking mad. He's crazy." It's just fun to watch Tom Cruise.
He's crazy. Yeah. There's also the moment where John McClane is this horrible.
You mean Bruce McClane?
Bruce McClane is this horrible, limping, bloody mess, and he comes up the corridor and he goes, "Hans!" Yep. I love that. First of all, the way that he yells for him, like, because you got their history. They've been talking to each other on the walkie-talkies, and they meet each other, and there's that whole exchange. To shoot the glass and give me my
fucking stupid Hans.
We are back in business. Holly, all this time, has got these sort of complicated feelings for John. They're separated. There's an impending divorce. and when she sees him, you know, her heart kind of goes out to him because he's really gone through absolute hell, and you can see every single mark of that on him. And that's what makes him special, is because he just keeps going. He's limping towards the finish line, and he's going to save his wife no matter what. Yeah, exactly.
I hate her because it's like, I get that he's a difficult guy, but in the second movie everything seems fine, and then in the third one they're divorced again, and it's like, well, I guess you forgot how many times he saved your life then.
By 3 you can see exactly how far down the toilet he's gone.
Yeah, he's a fucking he's a drug.
I mean, but that's what's great about 3 is that also, like, there's a progression to it, that he's, you know, the whole way through the movie he's complaining that he's got a headache. You know, he's not an action hero, he's a human being, and these things take a psychological toll on him. So when you see movies like 4 and 5 where he's sort of basically superhuman and doing all these like ridiculous over-the-top
fighting
stunts,
a jet with a trunk.
Yeah. You know, it kind of does a major disservice to all of that stuff that they established with his character.
So here's a question I wanted to ask you, because this is something that I was thinking about. Because I didn't want to watch 4. But
Thor Odinson.
No, 4.
Oh, 4. Sorry, I thought you said Thor. It's late.
The thing is that whole thing with the jet and the whatnot. Why is it that is so far-fetched and doesn't make any fucking sense, right?
Right.
And that whole thing where the car flips over and lands on top of 2 cars and narrowly misses the 2 of them doesn't excite me as much as the bridge scene in Mission Impossible 3. Like, why is it that this series was unable to make that leap from, you know, just these movies to these cool, like, action flicks to Mission Impossible, where it's like, okay, yeah, there was always an element of, like, the absurd to it, right? And even in the first one, which is the most grounded of them, right?
Right.
But then with 3, they started transitioning into this, you know, sort of thing where, you know, I knew he'd make it. You know, he's not from Texas. I knew he'd make it. You are an idiot. You need to rethink your life. Anyways, I'm
sorry,
Dr. Phil.
I kind of zoned out. What's going on right now?
I'm not rightly sure. I think what I'm trying to say is something about Mission Impossible becoming the... You know how, like, Fast and Furious has gone into this sort of, like, the next thing they're going to do is sort of, like, fly off into space and have a...
Spies!
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Like, I'm just wondering why it was so difficult for us to accept...
If you think about what...
Sorry, I don't know what happened there. I had a bit of a stroke.
We're think abouting... These are, like, these sort of, like, very sort of slickly put together set pieces that are obviously constructed. Whereas in Die Hard, you feel like things are happening to him, and Indiana Jones as well. You feel like things are happening to him and he has to get out of it. And it's a little bit more organic. It's a little bit more... It's still over the top, but it's a little bit more realistic in the, you know, as far as Hollywood can go. Whereas, you know, having the, you know, I killed a helicopter with a car, and you know, all that kind of stuff is like, it's just very slick. It's way too slick.
Booky.
It's comic booky.
But like all the things in Mission Impossible are also quite slick.
No, they not really. They kind of play it for reality as well, and you can see that they're doing the stunts for real.
Yeah, it's very cool. Like the thing with the airplane, and he like takes off and he's like, open the door, is brilliant. Well, I mean, the shot in Mission Impossible 3 on the bridge where he's like thrown sideways by the drone blast and he hits the car.
Yeah.
Is that a real stunt?
I think so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I mean, look, I wax lyrical about Die Hard 3, but they kind of jumped the shark with that whole, you know, jumping onto the oil tanker.
I know what you're talking about.
And then surviving. You know, he would have gotten cut in half. He does get bloodied up quite a bit, so there is that. But you know, he probably wouldn't have. Nobody would have survived that. You know.
All right, yeah, enough of the jibber jabber.
Should I take you to Trivia Corner?
Yes, please.
Trivia Corner. The fictional Nakatomi Plaza is the headquarters of 20th Century Fox Studios. It's called Century City Fox Tower. I've been there. I saw the building. And it was epic.
Cool.
Yeah. So the studio, they did that so that they could use one of their own buildings, and they didn't have to hold back on stunts and action sequences and stuff like that. It's a clever ploy.
Did you take lots of pictures of yourself, like Jake from
No, we just
Brooklyn
drove past
Nine-Nine?
it. I saw it from the car.
Here's this door where John McClane uses a prop over the suits. Take a picture with it.
Yeah. So screenwriter Jeb Stewart was writing the screenplay. He did a tour of the building and immediately incorporated some of the locations and objects that he found right there and then into his script as set pieces. Set peaches.
Lovely.
Set peaches. So as the we won. Oh, fuck me.
That's the beginning of A Knight's Tale.
Yeah.
Could you actually? This is one way I think you need to roll the clip on that. It's like, we've got to do that director with what we won. Oh.
3 scores to none after 2 lances. Horse rector needs do is not fall off his horse, and we've won. Oh.
The costume department apparently had 17 undershirts. 17 undershirts in Unterpants.
Hi, Stephen. This is Clem Fandango. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Clem Fandango.
This is going great, Stephen. Really terrific. One note from the director. He really wants you to pronounce it Unterpantsy. Really give it everything.
Okay. Here we go.
My Unterpantsy.
In various stages of degradation on hand for Bruce Willis. So 17 vests. The scene where Bruce Willis and Alan Rickman meet up was unrehearsed to create a greater feeling of spontaneity between the two actors. So scripted but unrehearsed. And apparently the scene where McClane falls down a shaft was mistake by the stuntman, who was supposed to grab the first vent, as was originally planned. He slipped and continued to fall, but the shot was used anyway. It was edited together with one where McClane grabs the next vent down as he falls. A happy accident then. Hope the stuntman's okay. Hart Bochhhner's line, Hans Bubby, was ad-libbed. Hans Bubby. Alan Rickman's quizzical reaction was genuine.
Hans Bubby, I'm your white knight.
I'm not saying anything, but like I'm sort of like
he's nodding. He's nodding. He's there. He's in it. I'm doing it for him. Alan Rickman nearly passed up the role of Hans Gruber, which ended up being his first film role and signature role, actually. He had only arrived in Hollywood 2 days earlier and was appalled by the idea of his first role being the villain in an action film. To a degree, Rickman was right to be concerned, considering his performance as Hans Gruber was so hailed that the actor had to struggle being typecast as a player of villains for much of his career.
He played some non-villains.
But even when he was playing non-villains, he turned out to be a villain, like in Love Actually, you bastard.
He's a bit of a twat. It doesn't make him a villain.
Ironically, Bruce Willis was sneered at in the movie for being an all-American hero by the head German terrorist, Hans Gruber, and he's actually more German than most of the villains. Alan Rickman was English. Alexander Godunov was Russian. Willis was born on March 19th, 1955 in West Germany to an American fava beans, to an American fava bean and a German mother.
And a German jelly baby.
A German jelly baby. Would you like a jelly baby? They're rather good. When John McClane runs through the glass shards in his bare feet after Hans has his men shoot out the glass partitions in the computer room, Bruce Willis is wearing special rubber shoes designed to look like his own bare feet. One can see this if looking closely, as his feet appear quite unnaturally large in some of the excrucial barefoot.
There you go.
Yeah. Feet. On Alan Rickman's first day of shooting, he filmed the scene where Hans Gruber first runs into John McClane. He made a jump off a ledge about 3 feet high. He injured himself when he landed and damaged some cartilage in his knee. He was told by his doctor not to put any weight on that leg, and he had to use crutches for a week. For the rest of the scene where Hans Gruber is standing and talking to John McClane, Alan Rickman is standing on one leg for the entire time and has a leg brace on under his pants. You can actually see that.
He's leaning against the wall, isn't he?
Indeed.
Cool.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah. Bruce Willis observed in an interview that many of the real police officers he met, Bruce Willis observed in an interview that many of the real police officers he met with to help prepare for the role and who served as technical advisors on the film all had a very dark, macabre sense of humour, which he tried to factor into his performance. Ironically, action hero characters are often criticised for joking around in films, even though, as Willis himself noted, telling jokes in such dire situations is not that uncommon. Did you know the I don't think I have it written here, but did you know the trivia tidbit of Alan Rickman's death scene?
Yeah.
So for the listeners, he was actually dropped from a height on wires in front of with a blue screen underneath him. I think a blue trampoline kind of thing to catch him, and they dropped him on 2 instead of 3.
So that look of surprise on his face
is in fact genuine.
Real.
In the original script, as in the original novel, the action took place over 3 days, but John McTiernan was inspired to have it take place over a single night by William Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream.
William Shakespeare's?
Yes, I know.
Would you like me to read the rest of Trivia Corner?
No.
Take a break, Johnny.
Go away. Jeb Stewart was given the task of adapting Roderick Thorpe's book Nothing Lasts Forever, and had some difficulty writing the screenplay until he had a near-death experience while driving at night in Los Angeles after a fight with his wife. Fuck me. Are you going to mention every time
I don't need to. You just do it, and then you stop and you go, a rife.
He was driving behind a truck carrying refrigerators, and one of the fridge boxes fell out of the truck. Because he was so distracted, he noticed too late how all the cars in front of him had quickly dodged the box, but luckily for him, it was empty. He realized that if he had died, he wouldn't have been able to apologize to his wife. This inspired him to give clear motivations to John McClane and Holly's characters. They wanted to reunite with each other after having a fight. While making this film, cinematographer Jan de Bont got trapped in an elevator. This later gave him the inspiration for the opening scene of Speed, which he directed. Bruce Willis
could have blown that thing from Bochhhhhner.
Bruce Willis suffered permanent hearing loss while shooting. No pun intended. Whoever wrote this is hilarious. A scene in the Nakatomi conference room when McClane kills the terrorist, who says, "Next time you have a chance to kill someone, don't hesitate."
Okay.
So he fires his Beretta through the conference table, jesting afterwards, "Thanks for the advice." And when doing so, he suffered severe damage to his left ear. The stunt weapons specialist engineered blanks to be extra loud and produced extreme muzzle flashes for dramatic effect. The close quarters under the table and the use of plexiglass to protect the actor from flying shell casings and wood splinters further increased the sound effect. In 2019, Willis said in an interview, "Due to an incident on the first Die Hard, I suffered 2/3 partial hearing loss in my left ear and have a tendency to say, 'What?'
Tiger shark. A what?
The actor has worn a hearing aid for years, unbeknownst to most fans."
Oh, cool.
20th Century Fox formally admitted that Die Hard is a Christmas movie after stating that it's the greatest Christmas story ever told in a new trailer to mark the 30th anniversary of the film's release.
It is, yes.
However, the debate, I might add, rather tiresome debate, on whether it's a Christmas movie or not amongst fans continues to this day.
It is a Christmas
Robert Eejit. Robert Eejit. I want to say, let me have another drink. Robert Eejit.
Was that on purpose?
No, it wasn't.
Roger Eejit.
Robert Eejit. All right. Well, he is quite an Eejit in this bit of Trivia Corner. Robert Eejit said he was one of the few critics to give this movie a negative review. The main reason he did this was because he hated the character Chief Dwayne Robinson. He's Dwayne Johnson. Why did I say Dwayne Johnson? Throughout this entire episode, I've been saying Dwayne Johnson, and then I realised that is in fact Hair Rock. Yeah, all right.
I noticed it when you said it earlier, and I was like, "Am I wrong?"
Yeah, no, it's me. It's all me. So apparently, he didn't like the inner. He said that the character of Dwayne Robinson was unnecessary, useless, dumb, and he prevented the movie from working. He did like the sequels and later changed his opinion. Robert Eejit. After John has put the chain around Carl's neck and sent him crashing into the wall, he sits down with his back against a pillar. Over his left shoulder, you can see
now,
the
actor.
actor.
When you say pillar, do you mean PILLAR or PILLOW? He puts his back against the pillar.
So apparently, over his left shoulder in that shot, you can see the actor that plays Carl watching.
Lovely.
Yeah, so not actually dangling. So you wanted to know about the book, okay? So, the Roderick Thorpe book, Nothing Lasts Forever, which serves as the basis for this movie, was a sequel to the book and film The Detective from 1968, and Frank Sinatra plays Joe Leland, who was the prototype for John McClane. Surprisingly, few of the book's details have changed. Originally, a much older Leland, changed to McClane, was visiting his daughter, Steffi Leland Gennaro, who works for the Claxon Oil Company. Takagi was originally a VP of sales named Rivers. Harry Ellis, Al Powell, Dwayne Robinson were essentially the same, but the FBI was not involved. Hans Gruber was originally Anton Little Tony Gruber, while Hans was the name of Karl's brother. The purpose of the terrorist takeover was to allow the West German radical group to uncover an illegal arms shipment Claxon was making to a Chilean dictatorship. Finally, in the end scene, which was Christmas morning at 10 a.m., it was always Christmas, Anton Gruber is shot by Leland and falls out the window, also catching a finger on Gennaro's watch, but in this case, he pulls her out the window to her death. So, yeah. So not Leland that dies, it is in fact his daughter that dies. This is something that's that I've always known, but here it is. For those of you that don't, the music cue when Powell shoots Carl at the end of the film was actually an unused track from James Horner's Academy Award nominated score for Aliens 1986. Specifically, the music. Fuck's sake.
Slow down. It's terrible when you stutter.
Specifically, the music was originally intended for a scene near the end of the film in which Ripley battles with an alien queen aboard the Sulaco. Instead, an earlier music cue was midget cue was reused, leaving the cue available for this film. A second music cue, scored by John Scott from the film Man on Fire, was also used. The music can be heard when John and Holly meet Powell at the end of the movie. And that is the end of a rather disjointed and fucked up Trivia corner. Oh, that's all I've got, and I am officially tuckered out.
Yeah, I don't have anything for, VFX, whatever the fuck.
Well, thank you for contributing to this fucking episode.
I'm sorry, there's nothing though. It's like you talked about, the blue screen. They did a lot of stuff practically. There's lots of stunts in the movie. There's not much VFX.
Yeah.
I mean, there are like 40 VFX shots, but then they're mostly practical or blue screen.
Look, you don't really need it because I'm quite happy with exactly how much you seem to love this film. Adore, actually. Unbridled
childish
adoration.
glee.
Yeah, that basically is a movie that I grew up loving, and now you do as well.
It's just this thing. I don't know why this movie and not like other movies. I guess I do have other movies like this, but I get super pumped when I'm about to watch Die Hard.
It's also like it's partly the score as well that like when it does that, it has the sleigh bells.
Mm-hmm.
It goes ching 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 ching, and then you see the Die Hard. It's chrome. It's badass. Chrome typeface.
My pumpedness usually starts around when Hans walks out of the truck.
Yeah. Links. Yeah.
Brilliant movie.
I'm glad we talked
next?
about it. What are we going to watch next? Well, I want you to go off and check out Highlander so that you can tell me what you think of that. I recently bought the limited edition 4K set from Studio Canal, and I think it's one of the most glorious sets that I have. It's got it's got new art, it's got a poster and a hard case and all sorts of things.
I've got a hard case.
It's not here, and it's a beautiful 4K transfer, about as beautiful as it can be. It was shot very cheaply on highly, highly grainy film stock. So while I say I love grain, and I do, sometimes it's very, very grainy. But it's it's a very cheesy 80s flick, and I'm just interested to hear what you make of it.
I really hope I like it because Sean Connery.
Yep. Indeed,
his performance in The Last Crusade, dang,
it pips it for me. Yeah, absolutely. So we
Indiana,
let it go. I have a few things that I'd like to talk about in future episodes. We can sort of preface this if you want. First of all, I still want to do what's our Bond number.
Yes.
And I will not rest until that actually happens, because I promised. And
you will deliver.
I will deliver. I would also like us to do a Mission Impossible-a-thon.
Yes.
Yes.
1,000 times yes.
Yes. I have
Red
ordered.
light.
Green light.
Red light! Green light!
I have ordered the
clip.
4K set, and I would like to get those movies spinning. Lovely.
Sorry.
I would like to get those fantastic movies spinning in my 4K player. Spinning in my 4K. 4K. Fuck this. This has been. Yeah, indeed. You don't have to
play
sing
us
it.
out, Scotty. Just
You
play
don't have
us
to
out.
sing it. Anyway, I want to talk about Mission Impossible. I want to talk about Highlander. I want to talk about James Bond. And
I think you want to go to sleep.
I'm sure that there will be other things somewhere in the future. Anyway, thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening. Eejit.
Bye.
What's our seat number? There we go. We've solved the problem of me not being comfortable in front of the microphone.
Oh, fuck.
Fuck's sake.
What is going on with the tech?
Want my money back, really?
Whose money?
Listen, seriously, this is what's happening right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting in front of the microphone, but because I broke the pop filter last time, I'm holding it. Like, that's what's happening. Because it doesn't sit anymore on anything.
Yep.
This is so much better.
Fun times.
So, are you watching anything?
I'm doing a massive, sexy rewatch of Doctor Who from...
Why does it have to be massive and sexy? Why can't it just be, Sai, I'm rewatching Doctor Who?
Sai, I'm rewatching Doctor Who. There you go.
I mean,
it's
that's
boring
a little bit
now.
boring, isn't it?
Whoa.
They're boring.
Whoa, now it's really boring. We're going in the red.
Boring as they're blue.
In the red,
boring
in the red, in the red. Welcome to the red.
Do you know?
Yes.
I actually... I rewatched the Mission Impossible movies.
I do know that, yes.
And it's a little bit weird because I've never watched them all in one go before. Like I've watched I fancy watching the first Mission Impossible movie or 3, and sometimes you watch 4 and you go, well, now I have to watch 5 and 6. I watched them all in one go, and I have to say that number 2 notwithstanding, they haven't made a single bad Mission Impossible movie, which is wrong because they made number 2.
Yeah, but number 2 has a certain,
Do not fucking say je ne sais quoi.
I was going to say nostalgic charm.
Really?
Yeah, it was one of the first DVDs I ever bought. Throw it.
It's the first album ever. Damn. Roll the clip.
Yeah. Write to us, viewers, listeners. Let us know.
Do you like
if
the
that...
second Mission Impossible movie?
No, I was going to say, let us know if the whole rolling the clip thing is starting to annoy you, because I've only just started doing it recently.
It's not annoying me.
Seriously, man, you and me, we're fucking done professionally.